Hello. This is Antya from Byte Shuffle. Thank you for always watching my videos. This time, I've put together a guide on how to play against ninjas and my thoughts on sideboarding strategies. Here is the deck list we will be using this time. I'll mulligan since it looks like I'm going to get mana screwed. I'll send Bayou to the bottom. The effect of Surveil keeps the card on top of the library. I'll search for Infernal Tutor. I stacked Tendrils of Agony followed by Cabal Ritual in that order. Since my opponent is playing ninjas, I won't worry about Wasteland from this point on. I'll use Hand Disruption to scout ahead. I took out Brainstorm. My opponent shuffled after casting Ponder. The effect of Surveil sends the card to the graveyard. I'm going all in. From here, I'll generate more mana needed for the combo. I'll go through the graveyard to execute the combo. Before sideboarding, I'd like to review the list we used. First, the conclusion. I will explain it step by step. First, I want to check the ninja's game plan. I'll deploy evasive creatures like Changeling, Outcast and Ornithopter, then attack. Once the attack goes through, I'll activate Ninjutsu to bring out Yuriko, the Tiger's Shadow, or Ingenious Infiltrator, and gain card advantage. After that, I'll continue to build up card advantage and secure the victory. This concludes the brief overview of the ninja's strategy. These are the cards related to ad nauseam tendrils in the ninja deck. First, there are various counterspells such as Force of Will, Force of Negation, and Consign to Memory. In response to these, I'll add Hand Disruption. Next, there are permanents like Grafdigger's Cage, Unlicensed Hearse, Nihil Spellbomb, Damping Sphere, Opposition Agent, Orcish Bowmasters, Null Rod, Narset, Parter of Veils, and Tamiyo, Inquisitive Student. In response to these, I'll use Abrupt Decay and Boseiju, who endures to deal with them. I think having around 3 cards for dealing with permanents should be sufficient. The game plan should focus on quickly removing troublesome permanents and swiftly executing the combo. Next, there are graveyard hate cards such as Surgical Extraction, Fairy Macabre, Nihil Spellbomb, Grafdigger's Cage, and Unlicensed Hearse. I'll reduce the number of Cabal Rituals, as they are more vulnerable to the opponent's graveyard hate cards. Since my opponent's clock isn't that fast and they'll likely focus on graveyard interaction post-sideboard, aiming for the ad nauseam route seems ideal. Alternatively, using Burning Wish to fetch Peer into the Abyss and bypassing the graveyard altogether could also be a solid option. Since my opponent is playing a mid-range deck with islands, and they'll have multiple islands in play, I'll bring in Carpet of Flowers. In exchange, I'll take out less mana-efficient cards like Lotus Petal and Crone Mox. Next, regarding swamps, my opponent usually doesn't run Wasteland, and in most cases, they won't aggressively deny my mana. In most cases, having just one source of black mana on the battlefield is enough to start the combo, so I'll remove the swamp. Next, this might be a point of debate, but to balance the deck, I'll remove Burning Wish. Some people might choose to remove Ponder instead. Personally, I don't find Infernal Tutor very strong when it clogs my hand, and I believe it's more powerful to use Ponder to search for a variety of cards. So after sideboarding, I played the game with only 6 tutors. Finally, if you feel that your opponent is overloading on graveyard hate, there's also the option of removing the Beseech the Mirror package instead of Burning Wish. Typically, opponents run about 3 graveyard hate cards, so I prioritized keeping the Beseech the Mirror package. I'll keep the hand since I can likely go all in the early turns. My opponent shuffled after casting Ponder. I'll start by playing Vexing Bauble to lock things down. I'll search for mana acceleration. I stacked Lion's Eye Diamond followed by Abrupt Decay in that order. Since it seems my opponent doesn't have any permanents, I'll discard Abrupt Decay. The effect of Surveil sends the card to the graveyard. At this point, I make a critical mistake. The most important thing right now is securing my mana, so I should have started with Vexing Bauble to bait a counterspell, and then cast Carpet of Flowers. My Carpet of Flowers got countered, and now the situation has suddenly turned into a pinch. With no other choice, I'll use Vexing Bauble to search for a land. Furthermore, if I had played Carpet of Flowers followed by Vexing Bauble, I could have fetched Bayou with a fetch land, which might have been a better play. I'll go all out searching for black mana. Luckily, I found it. I'm going all in. From here, I'll increase the mana needed for the combo. The game ended up being a disaster, where I had to rely on lucky draws to cover for my earlier critical mistake. I'll go through the graveyard to execute the combo. Thank you for watching up to this point. I apologize for the frequent play mistakes. I hope to improve at MTG together with everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and giving it a thumbs up. See you in the next one. This has been Antya.